Bigzoespodcast. I go by the name of Berto.
Your boy Beast on the beat.
Hey, we got a special guest.
House.
You guys introduce yourself.
Here.
So you guys ain't gonna introduce yourself?
Don't get
Hi,
started.
I'm Sam.
Introduce yourself.
Kiara, somebody. Say hello. I already said hello. Edlin?
Oh, hey, y'all.
Anyway, man, today's podcast, where we gonna be talking about what's going on in today's world, especially over this weekend, about the protests, about George Floyd.
You
Floyd,
can't
my
even
bad.
remember the name?
You were talking about George Floyd.
You're a terrible host.
You guys are hilarious. So anyway, what you guys think about the protests?
Oh, Jesus.
Now that I'm up here close to Chicago, about 2.5 hours south of Chicago, shit just got real.
Damn.
These black people, they pissed. They have the right to be pissed. How do I feel as a black fellow African American? I'm fed up, but I'm not fed up enough to go and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my gun, I'm gonna use my bullets. That ain't necessary. I'm not gonna go burn up cars. That's just not me. So I think we protest in different ways. Yeah. So I would say I'm a silent protester, but at the end of the day, I will have that stern conversation. That's just me. That's my 2 cents. Yeah. I mean, I understand.
You guys said what?
Oh, I was saying, I feel the same way just what Kiara said. I feel like, there's no word to describe how everybody's feeling. Everybody's beyond upset and at this point, but at the same time, I'm not the one to be out there, doing what they do. I don't think I can do it. But the only thing I can do right now is to pray for everybody who's out there putting their life, on the line for justice. But me personally, I'm gonna talk to God about it.
Amen.
Only God can solve this problem, honestly. So that's my.
I understand. I feel like it's justified. I mean, we've been dealing with this for how long now, and the peaceful protests weren't really working. And, we walk around with signs, it's really not working. So, you got to understand people are angry. So we're probably going to break some stuff to get our point across. I'm not okay with the looting. No, I'm not okay with it. But I feel like there's a difference between, like protesting for what you believe in versus store and I'm about to steal all this stuff just because.
I would just say my opinion is America had the chance to have a peaceful protest when Colin Kaepernick was pretty much having a peaceful protest, and they were having an issue with it. And the same energy like that was headed towards Colin Kaepernick, as far as everybody being angry as the president, calling these NFL players SOBs, and as the owners are getting mad, especially these billionaire owners. Why don't they have the same energy against George Floyd? I feel like America already had a chance when we was having a peaceful protest. They were upset with that. So I think the only way we get answers if I hate to say it, but if we start like destroying like stuff, costing them money to repair like different businesses and stuff.
It's been a couple of days. We're still waiting.
All you had to do was arrest 4 officers instead of, arresting everybody else. Yeah, all y'all had to do, y'all just had to arrest 4 people. Instead, y'all arresting everybody else. Like, come on.
This is America.
I think, Berto, you hit it right on the nail. But to add to it, or to ask y'all a different question, how y'all think the voting will be this year?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't.
I'll go first. I think it's gonna be rigged. I will be one of those people that will have a absentee ballot that will be going to Florida. Will it actually make it? Will my vote actually count? Are some of the questions I'm having in my mind.
Early.
Huh?
I said you're gonna have to vote early.
Yeah, most likely. But that's probably part of my mind. Things are definitely gonna be skewed. Seeing as we have a elected official that clearly has the duckies to make stuff go in his way. And then two, just overall, okay, there seems to be more good old boys that are definitely like, yeah, I'm gonna work the polls, versus those black people are like, no, I'm tired of blah, 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 and I'm tired of police brutality, I'm tired of people going to jail for a long time, but you're not voting. So to me, how do I feel? It's gonna be all the same thing. We're gonna complain, and then there's gonna be no actions because nobody's actually gonna go to the polls. Because it's either Corona-19, protesters, the good old boys are there, XYZ. That's how I feel.
But not to cut you off, but do you think like more of us, like young people, gonna go out and vote? The fact that we see how these people are protesting, and actually, like I was thinking about that the other day, how 2020 is going to be in the history books. Like we're going to be part of history for the next generations on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when we're not here no more, they'll be talking about 2020, especially with the coronavirus and stuff like this happening. I'm just trying to figure out, is that going to, like, another thing, like during the primaries, Bernie Sanders, like his thing was like, he's going to go vote through the young people. But when it came down to it, the young people wasn't even voting. So I'm trying to figure out, is this the wake up call for us, or like what's next? What's the next phase of this situation?
I mean, I hope this is the wake up call. Last year, it was the same thing about we need to vote. The young people need to go out there and vote. Did they vote? Absolutely not. But I hope it actually, they keep saying, I want my voice to be heard. The only way your voice is going to be heard is by you going out there and vote. But at the end of the day, it was the same thing. Nobody voted. Well, I'm not saying nobody voted, but the people that needed to be there wasn't there. So I hope this year we see a change, hopefully.
And to piggyback off of, sorry to cut you off, Sam, to piggyback off of what Pete said, I thought of that as I went and I voted. Me and my mom were the only black people in there. Not a good sign. And then to piggyback off of what Edlin said, simple and easy. Yeah, the younger generation clearly knows what they need to do. But as far as stepping up officially, look at what we're going through. Their way of taking control and pushing forward is, oh, no, I'm going to go take what's mine. We didn't heard that on every single news media as of a couple of hours ago. So that's their mindset when we need to start at the top and work our way down. So if that's, hey, you want to own JCPenney? Okay, you can do that. But let's start with some legislation first. So that's my 2 cents.
I would hope that the turnout would be good this year. I mean, from all the videos that I've been seeing, it's a lot of young people who have been protesting. So I'm hoping that this is a wake-up call to actually go and not just say, oh, I'm going to go. Like, actually do it, because we really need your voice to be heard now. Like, out of all times, like, now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think another dilemma that we have is we're not educated. So even though like, it comes down to the president, but we don't know nothing about no senators, about no congressmen. Like we don't know not like nobody.
The judges.
The judges.
Mm-hmm.
We basically don't know shit. So it's like, how do we educate ourselves? Not even how do we educate ourselves. How do we educate each other?
Where do we start? Versus, not to cut you off, Beast, but versus you have a completely different race that's all they do.
I think we need to start from the bottom up. You know, we got to focus on the local officials, the mayors, the senators, especially the judges. You know, when you look at it, it's people that look like us are going to court. You know, it's people that look like us is dealing with, like, you know, the way the police interact with us, the way they treating us. You know, so, and even with the for example, with the George Floyd shooting, you know, the reason why the 4 officers got fired in 24 hours And that was like the first time I think in history, like, yeah, it took them like a week or no, it took them 4 or 5 days to charge the officer that actually killed him. But all 4 officers got fired in 24 hours. Usually from previous cases, it takes them a long time to either fire the officer or suspend officers, or even in some cases they don't even get fired. You know what I'm saying? What's the reason why the officers got fired? A lot of people don't know. It was the chief of police. This happened to be African American, chief of police. So and I think we need to start taking when it comes to voting, just taking it more serious. I mean, yeah, we want to pick the president of the United States, but you got to understand, I feel like the local officials will have a bigger impact in our environment than the actual president of the United States. And that's just my take on that.
Hey, but to be honest, there's a lot of people that's like that's our color that don't even know how the government even works.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the knowledge stuff. We're like trying to self-educate ourselves and educate others and holding each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure you know how the House of Representatives works. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And from there, you can know, okay, who do I want in that position, and that can I can hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? And it starts with like with little baby steps like that. But to the people that's looting, they half of these motherfuckers don't even know this conversation that we even talking about. And so I think a lot of them are opportunists, but I think a lot of them we have to educate as well.
True. I think a lot of them have also gone through something like George Floyd. And it's just, okay, well, that's how they've treated me. And I was unscathed, praise God. But at the end of the day, I know that's what they do. So yeah, I'm pissed. I'm irate at this point because, yeah, eventually I'm going to have a generation. They're going to have a generation. And clearly we've been going through this. We've right at a century. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on and take it on back. We had a century and we're still doing the same thing. Except that now, like Berto said, we have chiefs that are black, this, that, and the third. So piggybacking and bringing that back into the conversation, yeah, okay, just because they're Democratic, that doesn't mean they're good. So yeah, we need to educate in that area. And then as well as we need to educate that we need more police officers. We need community policing so that it's not them coming in from the outside world and saying, well, this is the majority of the people, this is how they act. And then coming into our predominantly minority areas and saying, oh, y'all just crazy. I don't have any connection with you versus community policing. You have no choice but to interact. And that's where you're going to be. So you do that to the entire community or one person in the community, they're not going to like you. I'm sorry. I want my work-life balance to be equally fair. So if I know that I'm going to completely piss these people off by whatever action I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to sit and take the time to figure out, okay, let me step in their shoes and figure out what's going on versus having a completely closed mind of, oh yeah, use my privilege today, in which we all have privilege in our own way, shape, or form. And that's that.
And I think the conversation need to start like with us and our friends. I know like a lot of time people say like the two things you don't want to discuss, especially at work, is like politics and religion. But even like with our friends, like immediate friends, like friends that we're close with, a lot of us, we're the millennial generation, so we have like friends that are Spanish, Latinos, or white friends also. So we should have like conversation with our friends, especially the ones that's actually living in the same city as we are. You know what I'm saying? We should just, because if you think about it, I mean, I'm only can speak as a guy. Us guys, we talk about like sports, we talk about like everything that's going on. But one thing we don't want to talk about is like politics. And I never understand why. And I just feel like us, we should have a conversation with our friends to let them know, hey, why you voting for this person? Why you think this person will be good for our community? Because at the end of the day, most of us, we stay in the same community. So just to get their opinion and they could get our opinion, and they might be able to persuade us, we might be able to persuade them. You know what I'm saying? So I think the conversation should start with us and the people around us, especially the people that we hang out every day with, what we see every day. I think friends and family members.
That's a great point. I think this is a great conversation, but if we really think about it, how different this conversation would have been if everyone was like on their daily activities. Like we got a chance to be at home for 2 months, so it's like everybody's stuck at home waiting for something to happen, and we got a glimpse. I mean, we had 3 cases like in the last month. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be thinking how different the conversation will be if everybody was still going back, because we got to go back to work one day. It's like we having these conversations now, but what happens when the door opens and we can go back outside again? Like, what are we gonna be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can have these great conversations now, but are we really gonna put the work in? Like, once these doors open, like you strategize, are we really gonna strategize and plan and execute these things that we're talking about, or are we just doing it because it's just nothing to do at this point? You know what I'm saying? Because we've been had cases like from
Mm-hmm.
the 60s. You know what
I
I'm saying?
see.
We got a history book of what transpired, but we've been executing and trying to strategize plans for years and with no execution. So now I think we having a bigger conversation because everybody's is forced to do it, but are we really going to take those steps to
I would
achieve?
say, I would say like you do got a point, and also like like you said, everyone is at home pretty much. So like people like cops been killing like black people been killing us for years. The difference is I mean even like all the other cases, some of them were on camera, and they still got away with it. But I think like you said, most people are at home. And another thing too, you got a lot of athletes are stepping up more. You know what I'm saying? A lot of athletes are like, even like LeBron James has tweeted like last night, either you with us or you against us. Now for the first time we put in pressure like on like I mean I hate to say it, but we put in pressure on white people to stand up for us now. You got others like, Don Lemon already I don't know if you guys seen him. He snapped on the white friends. Ricky Smiley snapped on, if you got a white pastor and you go to like a mixed church, why is your white pastor not stepping up? you know, Everybody's saying like, okay, white people, we need y'all help. If you say you love us the way you say you do, okay, stand up for us. And another thing is, if you really think about it, I can't remember how all the protests were previously, but from what I've seen this weekend, there was a lot of white people protesting along with black people.
That's
So
because we're
that,
holding them accountable now.
yeah,
Like I feel like we weren't really doing. I feel like we would say stuff, and it's like, oh, we're not going to listen to you. Now you clearly see on camera exactly what happened. So now that we're putting this pressure on y'all, it's like, okay, we're gonna go march in the streets with you. We need a little more than that. We need you to actually be educated on why you're doing it too. Like what's going on. This is not the first, and it's not the last. We need a little more than that. We need a little more than a Martin Luther King post. I need you to get some knowledge. Don't just read Instagram to see what's going on. Don't look at Facebook. I need you to actually read some books to see exactly what's going on, because this is not new.
And another thing too, like I see Kiki snapping her like fingers. I think she's saying the money sign, right? If no, oh, you just snapping. Okay, yeah,
So
but I was.
snapping my finger is me technically clapping, and I really want to clap.
Oh, okay.
Listen to the video.
And I was gonna say like obviously financial reasons, because even like today I seen like the it's I think a North Carolina A&M like head basketball coach. He basically made a statement, and it basically opened a lot of people's eyes. He said, a lot of these college coaches, if it's basketball, football, they made like millions of dollars, billions of dollars off these black kids. Imagine if the black parents, tell the black sons, well, we're not gonna send you to like or Florida State, or we're not gonna send you to like Clemson or Alabama, and start sending you to HBCU schools. You know what I'm saying? Then he also said, you got a lot of these white coaches. They made money off of black players' back in this generation wealth, and they basically telling their parents like, hey, we love your kids, your kids are in the family. Okay, if your kids are in the family, why are you not sticking up for like black people? Well, if we're a family, why are you not sticking up for like all the black people that are getting shot by the police? So I think that's another issue is pretty much is financial. Because I see like even Nike got a commercial now about like injustice. I mean, even though they did the thing with Colin Kaepernick like I think last year, that was dope. But if you think about it, when the NFL said no to Colin Kaepernick and Nike said yes, Nike revenue went up 30% after that commercial. So it's financial. But now we are finally putting like pressure on them financially. And I know not to keep talking, but I know Ti said like last week he want a boycott of not like going out and spending money for a day or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only way we could hit them is financial.
I agree.
That's one, but I also think that, like you said, the white people are standing up for us. So it's like they have our backs, like you said, but it's like Mexicans. I mean, Spanish people also get messed up with the police as well, but you don't see it on camera. You know what I'm saying? You only see black people getting killed on camera. You know what I'm saying? And being humiliated on camera. You don't see no other nation. Imagine if a Chinese kid was getting choked up by police. You know what I'm saying? You know that what kind of dress they'll do with America and China, and with all the taxes and stuff that they have going on. Is just they have someone to protect them, and black people are finally getting all type of people. You know what I'm saying? All like minorities are finally sticking together. It's just not Spanish people. It's Spanish and black and white. You know what I'm saying? Poor white people are sticking together. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a great thing.
Look, I can agree to that. So I work in corporate America. I have been reached out by 3 people. 2 of them were white, to say, hey, just checking on you, making sure you're okay. I really don't understand what's going on, but at a later date and time, when everything's settled, I'd like to understand fully. Mind you, Zam, you said it. It's in a book. You can read it. We've all had history class. I don't think we could have went through college without it, but we won't go there. So there's people that, like you said, Beast, they have to be educated. And it can't be, oh, let me beat around the bush. No, I'm giving it to you straight. Y'all been doing this for way
You have questions.
that. Exactly. And with that, it made me feel safe and secure with those people in particular, but it didn't come from top management. I'm sorry, but the person that's on my same level as far as the job, me and you, we don't report to each other. I got this other man that's way up here. You haven't said anything other than, hey, I see everything that's going on in Philly. I hope you're okay. 2 sentences? That's all you have to say? Okay. So to me, all right, I'm still going to label you as such. You still one of the good old boys. So with that, how do we take all of this and put it into trust whenever we do go back to work and we're sitting in front of people? I'm sorry, you can probably tell I'm not good at hiding my facial expressions. So very outspoken. Yeah, my face says everything. So whenever we go back and we have this whole discussion of everything that happened over this whole being at home thing, yeah, that silent Kira that normally is like, oh, no, I don't have no words. No, I got some stuff I want to say. So I guess that's kind of where I'm looking more into as far as the future and saying, okay, well, what does this look like? And then as far as financially, I'm sorry, Dr. Martin Luther King said that one, which that speech was not published.
I'm just wondering how you're going to feel, or not just you, but how people are going to feel going back to work to companies that haven't spoken out, who haven't said anything, who may have posted like one little quote, like, oh, we support you. Like, how are you going to feel going back to something like that? Or would you even want to go back to a job like that? Would you even consider trying to find somewhere else to go? Because why would you want to be, I ain't trying to dog every company, but I feel like I just wouldn't want to be a part of a company that wouldn't even support Black people like that.
There you go.
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Are you expecting that from a company at this point?
I know there are companies that have spoken out who have said something, and then there's a lot of companies that probably won't say anything. Or like, you know, they're waiting, or like saying something today, or they're just waiting on the piggyback on other people. Like, I don't respect that. Like, you've had plenty of time to speak up. This video has been out for several days. Why now? Why today? Like, what's taking you so long? I don't understand.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, even with me, I work a 9 to 5 and work for like a popular company. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm looking at it as, am I expecting something for a company? I honestly am not expecting nothing. Even like majority of people that work where I work as basically older, white people. I'm not expecting anything from them. I just go there, do my job, and they don't bother me. I don't bother them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I'm looking at it in my point of view, because I'm not expecting anything from them. Because if you look at it, even with the dude that got the cops call on him by the lady in Central Park in New York, you know, Amy Cooper, I think that was her name. She was in charge of she was a manager in charge of like a huge financial company or something. So she was a manager, and and this is the way that she act towards a black man. Imagine what is she doing in her position as a manager. You know what I'm saying? As far as hiring people that look like us. Then you got the other guy, he's a corporate dude. I don't know if you've seen the video. He called the cops at this two black dudes that was at the gym and basically saying that they don't belong here. So, and his partner basically at the company said, hey, they know he's no longer doing business with them. They're not a part of the company that he's running. So that lets you know, when I go to work, I'm gonna be honest with you, these people that I work with, I mean, I'm a respectful guy because that's how my parents raised me. I'm gonna say hi and bye, and that's about it.
Facts.
See, I'm a little confused because like the NFL gave a PR statement, but everybody knew that was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely,
because you really haven't done nothing versus the NBA who did the same thing, but on the back end they created a reform committee, and like they created little committees that's really actually gonna do something in the NBA city. So it's like, yes, do I want to apologize? I don't even want an apology. I want you to do something about it. And I think that's probably what she was trying to get to there. Like, you want somebody to actually like do for black. You know what I'm saying? Either you with us or you against us.
There you go.
I totally agree. I mean, I don't want no company to be like, oh, I understand what you guys are going through. I'm with you. No, your words don't mean nothing. Like, their words, I don't want a company to be like, oh, I'm with you. Do some shit. I'm tired of I'm with you, or we here for you guys. We understand what. No, you guys don't understand shit. They really don't understand nothing. At the end of the day, them saying I'm with you, and then they're still doing business with the same people that are killing us. They're still doing this with the same people that that are putting us in jail. At the end of the day, I don't want nothing. If you're not gonna do nothing about it, I don't want your little posts. See,
it's
we
about action.
stand with you. We did this. No, I don't want the posts. I don't care about the little posts that the company are posting.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. It's about action. It's about action. What are you doing? Don't tell me what you're doing. Just show me what you're doing.
Yeah, you little apology. What? And the thing is that when white people apologize, what are you apologizing for?
They don't even know.
They don't know
what they're apologizing for. At the end of the day, I don't want your apology if you don't know what you're apologizing for.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like we had a great conversation. Did you guys want to shout out any social media outlets or anything? Because we're about to wrap this up. No?
I'll do it. Y'all can follow me on Instagram. B as a boy, RMIKI. Shout out to KB. Yes, yes. Or you can follow my lovely Instagram card page, which is Gearhead Beauty. Find me, look me up. Hey, y'all.
All right.
I can't believe I have you as a best friend, Kiara. You are unbelievable.
Anyway, man, we appreciate you guys for joining us at Big Zoe Podcast, where you can follow us at Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, pretty much every social media outlet. And holla at your boys. Hey, the reason why I kind of cut it short because